Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello. So, I am going to discuss on a topic that is called intrapersonal communication. This is one of the most important topics in the area of communication. As you can understand the basic meaning of intrapersonal, that means talking to ourselves. This is something very, very important, very interesting. One can say that this is the foundation of all kinds of communication behavior. So, the first step towards effective communication with others is successful communication with yourself. Before we try to communicate or give training to others how they should communicate, we have to understand whether communication with ourselves is very effective. Now, when I say communication to ourselves, what does it mean? It is something very interesting, that if we are not able to understand ourselves properly, we cannot develop that kind of quality necessary for making communication effective. So, communication with ourselves includes many things, which I shall take up one by one, and if we feel that our communication with others should be effective, first we have to develop certain qualities within ourselves related to communication behavior. Now, intrapersonal communication is not restricted to talking to ourselves. It also includes such activities as internal problem solving, resolution of internal conflict, planning for the future, emotional catharsis, evaluations of ourselves and others, and the relationship between ourselves and others. So, it is a very broad concept, one can say. It is not simply just talking to ourselves, rather understanding lots of issues related to self. It might include like self-esteem, it might include self-concept, self-motivation, self-realization, self-concept. There are so many things related to self. Now, for example, self-esteem. If my esteem is very low, I will not develop that kind of confidence within ourselves. So, if I am not having confidence within, how can I be effective while talking, interacting with others? What exactly is self-esteem? Self-esteem is nothing but it is something like how much value do we assign to ourselves. Before giving value to others, before praising others, we have to develop certain things, that how do we understand ourselves, how much value do we assign. I am also worth, I am also doing something. One should be proud of oneself, because these are the only this way we can develop confidence within us, because for every communication behavior, to make our communication behavior effective, we have to develop confidence, and that confidence will come only we are developing all sorts of this self. So, this is very, very important, and then I will be talking little bit that yes, how we can develop these things. All of the psychological and physiological processing of message that happens within individuals at conscious and non-conscious level as they attempt to understand themselves and their environment. Now, when we are talking, many things happens internally, and we have to very much conscious about those things, and these things can be developed through practice. We have to practice. Say for example, there are certain ways, auto suggestions for example. There are people who feel all the time that I am not good, I cannot perform, I cannot do, and if all the time we are thinking these kind of negative ways, perhaps we cannot make progress. Auto suggestion is a something very interesting, and if we can just practice little bit. For example, if there is some issue, there is some problem, there are some shortcomings or weaknesses, we can always say that yes, I can do it, I shall be able to do. If others can do, why not I? If I am repeating several times these kind of sentences or these kind of thoughts are coming to our mind, perhaps we can develop certain confidence, and if that confidence come, with that confidence, whenever and whatever we are speaking, that is going to be effective. Because even there might be certain good things and certain things which are important, but if we are not able to present those things in effective way, and that effectiveness will come through confidence, and that confidence will come only we are stronger within, inside. We are making all sorts of self very effective, then our communication behavior with others will be proper, will be more effective than others. Now, this is a very simple and important one, can say, saying the easiest person to deceive is one's own self. You know, when we try to deceive others, lots of preparations are required. Means we have to remember when we are telling a lie, then next time if the same is repeated, then we have to very conscious that whether I am speaking the same thing. So, deceiving others, telling lie with others, it is a very difficult task, and that is why one requires lots of consciousness or alert or some sort of training how to tell a lie. Of course, in communication sometimes it is very, for practical purposes, it is very important to tell a lie, because if you start speaking all the time truth, life will be hell. Say for example, every day we are interacting with people, and whether we like or we do not like the person, just for the sake of formality, we say hello sir, hello madam, good morning, how are you, and then we say, if we are asked, then very often we are saying that I am very fine, nice, and nice to meet you, but from within we do not like that person. From within, perhaps I am using some sort of very negative words or sometimes abusive language, but we cannot speak on the face. So, for all practical purposes in our day to day interaction, we do tell a lie, and that might be some extent required also, otherwise life will be very difficult. It does not mean that all the time we have to tell a lie when the situation demands that no, we have to speak the truth, we have to speak the truth. But here this quote is, the easiest person to deceive is one's own self, means, you know, inner thoughts. We are having lots of inner thoughts, and we make promises. Best example can be cited, suppose many of us when before the new year starts, 31st December or 30th December, we take lots of resolution that from 1st of January we shall be doing this, or we will not be doing this. Those who are smokers, they take promise that okay, from the new year, from the 1st of January, I will never smoke, or I will not do this thing or that thing. Now 1st January comes, the person thinking about that, about the promise, about the resolution, whatever he has taken. Then after few days, suppose some friends are coming and they are offering cigarette to smoke, the person forget, and then he goes back to the same thing, same habit. Here this is the example of deceiving oneself. This is very easy. Many times we take promise, even the students plan that they will be doing like this, they will be doing exercises, they will get up in the morning, they will go for walk, they will not waste time. But what happens? They are serious for few days and then they forget. So this is the way one can say we are deceiving. For developing certain habits, we have to have a very, very strong willpower, because it is said that old habits die hard. Yeah, this is the fact, this is true. But we do have the examples of people that all of a sudden, suddenly, one fine morning, they have stopped doing certain things, some bad habits. Say for example, smoking and drinking. There are persons who were chain smokers, but suddenly something happens and they have stopped forever. How it happened? This happened because they had a strong desire, they had a very strong willpower to do that. So we should develop habits, and we should not all the time try to deceive ourselves. Intrapersonal communication takes place whenever we evaluate and react to internal and external stimuli. Now I would like to explain further that how this intrapersonal communication takes place, how this happens. Interpersonal communication, you all understand that yes, this might be between two persons, between two groups, etc. It's generally a dyadic communication. But intrapersonal means it is happening, the person, the sender and the receiver is the same person. So there are many things happening within ourselves, and here these are the two terms, that the internal and external stimuli. Now I will give some examples. For example, external stimuli, there are so many things happening in the environment, and in the environment, for example, if you are hungry and next room or nearby area good food is being cooked and very good smell is coming, then our hunger increases, and sometimes that water comes in our mouth, that immediately we should have the food. So these are the external stimuli. Or sometimes we are walking and suddenly we hear the music of our interest, and I like that music, then we feel involved and start also repeating the song, and sometimes some people start dancing also a little bit, or smell. So there are lots of things available in the environment, and these are called external stimuli. Some very good examples might be that we have observed some small kids, children, they are watching TV, some game or something, some program is going on, and in between some ads come, and suppose that there is an ad about the chocolate or Maggie or noodle, then what happens that the moment these kind of advertisements come, they immediately starts crying, oh, they want immediately that thing, and starts asking mother or father that immediately they want some kinds of chocolate or noodles. Means suddenly hunger starts. So in the environment we have lots of stimuli, and through that it goes internally, means communication is going inside, and accordingly it is happening. Now internal stimuli, what are the internal? Many times it happens that within our body we are being communicated. I can cite some example. Suppose you are sleeping and in the night suddenly you feel that your body is getting warm, and that means you are having fever, and you get up, and then this fever within the body, it is communicated through our nerves to the brain, and immediately you feel that you should take some sort of medicine, or you can visit to the doctor. So many things happens internally which only we can feel. We are talking and suddenly we feel that yes, I am feeling thirsty, my throat is getting dry, so we need water. I am getting hungry, so the message is communicated through our nerves to the brain that yes, I need some food. So these are internal. So internal stimuli and external stimuli, they are the things happening in the within the body and outside, that is in the environment, and through these stimuli we are getting the message, and this is part of intrapersonal communication. So intrapersonal message reflect our physical self, emotional self, social self, self concept, values, beliefs and attitudes, in short our entire personality. Thus the study of intrapersonal communication begins with knowing ourselves. There is a saying, know thyself. Knowing ourselves is very, very important. If I go little beyond, that is called knowing self. In spiritual word, the self has been very much emphasized, because there are certain religion or certain spiritual thinking, they consider that we are not the body, we are the soul. So this concept of self, they relate with the soul, that means body and the soul, these are two different things. And the self, if we understand properly, then our life might be more meaningful, more easier, our thinking process will be simpler, and we shall be in a better position to understand the complex human behavior and nature. So this all sorts of self what I am mentioning, like emotional self, people are talking about emotional intelligence, that means how to understand the emotion of others and also emotion of ourselves, how can we control. It is not that we have observed that suddenly some people get angry, suddenly they will start crying, suddenly they will start laughing. So all such things happen. We have to learn how to make a balance. So emotions are good, but it should not be excessive, that we react and we become angry, excessive angry, or we become so sad that it starts crying in front of others. So all such things should be controlled. Concept, self concept about yourself, values. What is value in my life? What is belief in my life? Value system, value might differ from person to person, but for some people, what is the value? My value in my life is that I want to lead a meaningful life, I want to be happy, I want that whatever I am doing I enjoy, and whatever I am getting I am satisfied. I am not comparing myself with others. This might be my value, but for others the value might be different. What is the value? That I want that I should have lots of money, I should have the in the society status, I should liked by many people, always people should praise me. So value might differ from person to person, but inner value is such a thing, whatever we are having in proper way, if that is emphasized, perhaps our confidence will increase, and with that confidence we will be in a very better position to communicate effectively. Now I will explain little bit about this self, physical self. A person with a fairly healthy personality will have a fairly healthy body image. This is very, very important. You know that this body is God gifted. we cannot do anything. But the maintenance, to maintain this body, this is in our hands. Whatever, some people are very fatty, some people are very thin, some people short, some people height is quite high. So one can say that certain things are not in our control, but at the same time, to maintain this body is in our hands. We are responsible to make our body healthy, what kind of food we are eating, what kind of exercises we are doing, do we get up in the morning, how do we behave, are we doing some meditation, yoga, some exercises. So these are the things to maintain our body, because when we look somebody, first impression is looking at the face of that person, body, physique of that person. That also, if a person, suppose somebody is short or somebody's color is dark, and all the time he or she is thinking that, oh my God, my height is short, my color is dark, and then she or he will be suffering from some sort of inferiority complex, and that will be reflected in his or her communication behavior. So we should not be all the time thinking about these kind of complexes. We might have observed that there are some persons who are very short or in height and dark in complexion, but when they speak, when they open their mouth, and what they are speaking, that matters a lot. We forget about the personality, about the body, about the physique of that person, whether the person is black or dark or short or fat or thin, doesn't matter. His or her communication behaviors become more important than other things. But in general, what happens that physical self, we should not have inferiority complex about our physical self, because that matters. Emotional self, emotions are conscious feelings that are accompanied by physiological change, such as rapid heartbeat, tensed muscles, or raised blood sugar level. Many times it happens that from within we are very angry and we start feeling very bad. We do not know, but whenever we are angry, when we are in depression, when we are sad, our heartbeat increases, our throat will get dry, might be our blood pressure will increase, our sugar level will increase, and these things are happening within our body. So this is also, in a way, this is part of the intrapersonal communication, because this is going within. So anything which is happening within, that is intrapersonal communication. So we have to develop habit to control our emotion. Of course, at times it becomes very difficult, but through practice we can do, because what happens in communication, this is very, very important, that whenever we become angry, the first thing happens that we control, we lose control over our tongue, and whatever comes to our mind, we speak then and there, and later on we repent, why I have spoken, because the words are even more dangerous than, one can say, that swords are wound may be healed, but the words spoken, perhaps we cannot take it back. It is just like a bullet, once we have fired, it cannot come back. We try to say several things like, I am sorry, that was by mistake, that was, I do not know why and how it happened, but it becomes very difficult to make people understand. The person might forget good things, but the person generally do not forget certain bad things which happened with them. We have observed that very good friends and those who are in very good relationship, one fine morning we find that something has happened, their relationship has broken, they are not talking, because because what happens that whenever we are having problem with others, the first thing happens that we stop communication breakdown. People do not like to talk, and please remember that if there is any chance of reconciliation, if any chance of further developing the relationship or building relationship, that will happen again only through communication. So, making and breaking, in both the cases communication is playing very, very vital role. So, self concept, what we think about ourselves, our self concept has a strong effect on intrapersonal and interpersonal communication. As I mentioned that we have to have some sort of concept about ourselves. Who am I? I am also worth for the family, for the society, for the country, for the nation. I am doing something good. So, this is very, very important, and that will give strength. Our past experiences also matters. Your past shapes the way you feel about yourself and the way you react to others. So, this is also very, very important, and I have already explained the process of intrapersonal communication. Just to repeat that how the way we have the process in interpersonal communication from sender to receiver, similarly we have the process of intrapersonal communication. One can see that we have the internal stimuli, we have external stimuli, then there is a reception, it is received in our body through nerves. Then there is a process also. Suppose we are having 2-3 things, very good food is being cooked, very nice music is being played, very good smell is coming, so or very good photograph or picture is there. So, it is being processed, the one which is more important for me, that will be first, and then others might be in the queue, others might be the next. Then these things are transmitted through our nerves and it goes to our brain, and accordingly we are getting the feedback. Feedback in intrapersonal communication is also important. Sometimes when we are speaking in front of public, in front of others, we understand that my facial expression is not good, I am being nervous, what others will think, I am smiling, but that is not the real one, and this kind of message is going to our brain. Or sometimes while speaking we utter some words or we mispronounce, and then we say, oh, I am sorry. Why do I say sorry? Because immediately we have got the feedback through our brain that yes, something wrong I have spoken, or my facial expression is not good, or my smile is not coming in the natural way, and we try to adjust from within, so that others should feel that it is coming in a natural way. So, I would like to conclude, thus an individual's intrapersonal communication must be considered in any analysis of interpersonal communication situations. So, intrapersonal communication is very, very important, and intrapersonal is nothing but developing certain kinds of habits within ourselves to understand ourselves and to develop confidence related to all these kind of self, as I mentioned, like self concept, self esteem, self actualization, self motivation and self emotion, etc., etc. So, self physical things. If we understand about all these things, we shall be in a better position, we shall be developing confidence within, and this will be reflected in our personality, this will be reflected on our face, and perhaps we shall be in a better position to communicate while interacting with others. If the confidence is within, confidence will come in our interpersonal communication, whether we are speaking in an interview or speaking in front of public, speaking in a meeting, or wherever we are in the society and social gathering. If we are strong from within, if we have the confidence from within, then our communication behavior will be better, more effective, and we shall be more satisfied. So, thank you very much.